Welcome to our introduction to presenting panel essays. A panel essay begins as any ordinary researched expository essay. At an academic conference, the presentation of these essays can be very different. In this workshop, we'll cover some advice in reading a paper at a conference. There are generally two ways of presenting an essay at a conference: talking to the paper and reading the paper. Hard sciences and social sciences tend to talk to the essay. These fields see themselves as presenting new information to their discipline and research. Their presentations then present those findings, reading only when quotes from research or other complicated data is required. See our other workshop on extemporaneous speaking to better cover this disciplinary method. The humanities, however, can seem a bit quaint to those who don't work in those disciplines. Frequently, we read our papers. The reason for this lies in our methodology and aim. Since we're providing new insights into old data rather than discovering new information, we focus primarily on complicated analytic arguments. To capture the nuance of these analyses, reading is often the preferred method. It would be difficult at best to present such complicated findings in an extemporaneous manner. This, of course, can be boring, but there are ways to make such a presentation more engaging. Some of the best presentations I've attended were read. To achieve a more conversational tone, we need to keep in mind that reading is a performance. First, look for moments when you can be more extemporaneous. There will be moments within the text that you know better than others, or when you feel comfortable moving away from the text to speak directly to the audience, perhaps to make a humorous comment, or to give a simple explanation of a complicated bit of theory. Secondly, change your language of your essay. While you'll turn in an essay that is fairly formal, your presentation doesn't need to be as formal. Change the language to sound more conversational for your audience. Also, you should keep in mind that you should rehearse anytime you're going to give a presentation. Even if you're reading your essay, you should rehearse it first. Read it out loud and listen for the rough spots. Take your time. Next, practice those extemporaneous moments you hope to add. Finally, you should try to go off script every now and then. One way you can do this is to connect to other presentations on your panel. This could be difficult if you're the first person in your panel to read, but if you've seen other presentations at the conference, there might be moments where you can connect to those. Or, if you're familiar with the research of your fellow panel mates, you might be able to make introductory connections to what they're about to present. Also, don't be afraid to improvise a bit. I also can't stress strongly enough the importance of a good reading copy. Some attributes of a good reading copy to take with you to the conference include underlining or otherwise marking your essay for emphasis. You can underline, italicize, or bold those words that you most want to stress. Also, you could draw in visual cues for pausing. Page breaks at natural pauses can also help your reading. Instead of having a paragraph remain unfinished at the bottom of a page, make sure that every paragraph starts and finishes on the same page. This will prevent you from having to pause in the middle of a sentence while turning a page. Another good idea is to print your reading copy in a font large enough for you to read easily without having to bend over or squint or hold the paper in front of your face. A couple extra little things to keep in mind. When being extemporaneous, at least make some eye contact. Even if you're reading, look ahead, know where you're going, take a moment to look up and make some eye contact with your audience. And remember to bring some water, especially for those of us who get nervous, our mouths get dry while reading. Take a sip of water at those natural pauses in your text, and then continue.